Hello, this is Joe again, your friendly neighborhood tarot card, get to the bottom of stuff type of guy. Uh, I originally started uploading, doing podcasts centered around childhood trauma, and that pretty much evolved into my belief, which is spirituality, and then that led into energy, which is where I'm at right now. Again, there's a video or a podcast that I will be doing surrounding energy, the manipulation, the identification, the various modalities of energies that are at everyone's fingertips to use, whether we know it or not, and how to not stay stuck in one energy and move through the gauntlet of energies that are available. Now, that is a podcast content that I'm drumming up anxiety to actually produce, but believe I have not believed. How does that sound? I do not believe, however, that the interest has stirred enough in me to actually make it yet. There's a reason for that, but another time. What I'm about to do here is this is going to be two parts. I'm going to briefly tell you a situation, two parallel situations to explain something, and then I'm going to do a energy reading on what I just spoke about. Okay, so there's going to be two things. So what I like, let me give you this background first. Okay, so I'm in a situation where there's a lot of throwing rocks and hiding people's hands, for example. Now, I do stay in public housing, and where I stay, I've been living for 11, 12, 13 years, not quite sure, but I know it's been over 10. Never had a problem with any of my neighbors, anything like that. All of a sudden, I started having problems with my neighbors, but other people in the community would not know that because they are not sitting right where I'm sitting to experience what I'm experiencing. So someone living in the complex that I live in, the building, they would not know unless they were in the know what exactly is going on with me. And real briefly to explain it to you, I understand that people move around in their apartments as anyone does, but for days on end, every day, every single day, to have a neighbor above your head scooting stuff across the floor, dropping stuff on the floor, just constantly. It's different than when a person first moves into an apartment, but then to be subjected to an individual, a neighbor above you, constantly moving, that means they're trying to be an annoyance to you. Okay, now in the situation that I'm speaking of, I decided to take things to go another route because what I'm seeing, there's a blind spot. Rocks are being thrown at me, but no one sees these rocks. So I'm going to develop a situation to bring or shine a light on something that's transpiring between myself and a neighbor above me. So what I do, I get a pad. Actually, I believe it. I have it right here. Matter of fact, I get a pad. I write some questions, and then I go upstairs to that neighbor, and I ask them these questions. I try to drum up some type of. Now I do know the neighbor, the person that's legally supposed to be there. Now, the other persons, no idea. Okay, so I do this spill of where I'm going to ask my neighbor some questions, real simple. And I try to time it when they become annoyance, meaning they want to drop stuff on the floor, that's not a big deal. But from my vantage point, for you to be able to tell the different items that they are dropping for whatever purpose, it's psychological abuse. I forget the name of it. Dealing with sound, I forget what it is. But in any respect, this is being carried out by individuals that have some psychological background, or they are being led by individuals that have psychology training. So what I do, as I stated, I drum up this, hey, I'm going to ask you questions every time you get the sliding stuff across the floor. I do not go anywhere. I'm not currently working. That's another situation. So I am pretty much at the house. So I go upstairs and I begin to, ask my neighbor these questions, and she has other members or friends there. And this one older gentleman, I actually do have the report because I actually had to go and make a police report about it. And I do want to say this, it made me feel like a bitch, but at the same time, the weapon that I used was the Martin Luther King nonviolence type of deal. Because what I'm gathering is that these things that are happening to me is for me to be provoked to do something. And they provoked me to do exactly what I'm telling you, which is a non-violent way of approaching this situation and asking, what the hell are you doing? Do you know that you have a neighbor downstairs? You slide so. So anyway, this neighbor has a male. It's actually a female that actually owns the apartment, but there's a male there, and he gets into a rant. I don't know who this guy is. He's a little older than me. Get into a rant about some windows or something being broken. And I tell him, yeah, her windows were broken, and so was the windows on the 4th floor. And so we get into this banter. The whole time, I'm trying to ask this question, and he sucker punches me. This older gentleman, sucker punches me on the right side of my face. And for that moment, it's like a blur, but in a sense, it brought me back to why I've been spending a lot of time by myself researching different things. Just to say the least, if an individual is grounded, please understand what I'm saying. If an individual is grounded, meaning you're not standing in positivity, you're not standing in negativity. You are in between those polarities. When you are approached by, as I was, this person projecting negative energy, by me being grounded, not negative or positive, the interaction with this negative energy to me is it's immediately going to ground. And that physically, to say to you guys, this guy took a nice hauling to the right side of my face, and I did not budge. I did not budge. He was bigger than me. I'm more, slim, frail type. I did not budge. I wasn't in positive energy. I wasn't in negative energy. I was grounded in the middle. So when he approached me and he struck out in negativity and he made contact with me physically, that energy that he was using was grounded immediately. I did not budge. I didn't budge. And physically, to say that, that's hard to understand, but I just had to put that out there. Now, that situation presented to me almost an identical situation that I believe other individuals want to lash out at me as this gentleman lashed out at me. Other individuals, a lot of individuals want to lash out at me because of a situation where someone was throwing rocks and hiding their hands. In that situation, what I'm going to tell you is, there was a time when I had a car accident. This car accident meant that I had to actually go to the hospital and, needless to say, have an operation done. Okay? This is the throwing the rocks and hiding your hands. The fact that this accident occurred and it put me on an operating table and they operated on me of a nature of saying I had head trauma, okay? No one later on in my life would know that I was placed on the operating table. They say, yeah, big deal. They didn't know. It's what they did while I was on the operating table. I'm going to say this. Humans are controlled by frequency, vibrational frequency. If you can emit the right vibrational frequency to or on a human, you can get that human to do whatever you want them to do. I went on the operating table. This is the throw rocks, hide your hands. No one knew that I was put on an operating table to be controlled by vibrational frequency because of an operation. This is going along the lines of CIA, MK Ultra and everything, and they're really trying to, they're doing their damnedest trying to throw these rocks and hide their hands, but at this particular time, I think I have actually enough evidence that I need to present a case to the U.S. Supreme Court, however far it goes, on what certain entities are doing. So anyway, so we have one situation where I was put on the operating table to make me more susceptible to vibrational frequencies, which would alter my thinking and me do what someone wants me to do and not more or less what I want to do. That's CIA territory. No one knew about that. The other situation, there's someone sliding stuff up above my head, dropping little stuff, being annoyance. No one knows about that. This is throwing the rocks and hiding your hands. No one knows about that. I approached that situation by engaging them, and when they found out that some windows had been broken, they lashed out at me. That's this situation. The other situation, when they found out, because of the influence of vibrational frequencies to get me to do something that I would not normally do, these people lashed out at me as well. So I have two situations, two parallel situations. Both of these situations, individuals are throwing rocks and hiding their hands. Okay? This situation where the alleged windows were broken and the guy actually hit me, he hit me because windows were broken. He did not know why those windows were broken. The other situation where something was done and people place the blame, point the finger at you, these people that's lashing out, as this person lashed out, they don't know that they put me on an operating table to control me vibrational frequency wise, which is CIA MK Ultra. These people did not know that. So the way that they're responding is to lash out. And the way that they're lashing out basically is by gang stalking me, doing identity theft, opening bank accounts in my name, trying to cash checks. That's how they're lashing out, which makes it harder to prove. But this situation, where someone was making a noise, a neighbor was making noise above my head, and I finally approached them on that situation, a person that was involved with this neighbor lashed out because of what they thought that I was just doing just to do. Like, who breaks a window for no reason? Who does anything for no reason? There is a cause and effect. And what I'm trying to get to the bottom of is pointing out the cause to certain reasons, for the cause for certain things taking place. And to get to the bottom of that, I had to first establish that there are things that are being done by people behind a veil, so you don't know who's doing it. There's two situations. My car accident, which later led to a situation that people currently got me pegged as this type of person. Then this situation where someone's above my head doing monkey balls, and things happen and they lash out. It's a lot of the hiding your hands after throwing the rocks. And that is synonymous for certain entities to act in that manner. The biggest entity I would say that would act in that manner would be those in the intelligence community. Whatever actions they take, they make sure they cover their tail so nothing can lead back to them. Now, these intelligence institutions happen to be connected to other organizations, which they utilize these organizations for a purpose. So if they, as a institution, intelligence institution, throw rocks and hide their hands, anyone they're interacting with are going to have to model what they do. So for example, if the FBI or the CIA happens to work alongside of a secret society, and the FBI and the CIA throw rocks and hide their hands, what do you think any organization that's going to be dealing with the FBI and the CIA is going to do? They're going to throw rocks and hide their hands too. Now, this is an energy reading on what I just spoke about. I hope that was fairly enough clear, or whatever am I saying. So I will state again the energy that I'm seeking. Give me the energy, Spirit, of secret societies working along with the FBI, working along with the CIA, throwing rocks and hiding their hands, starting situations and then hiding to conceal themselves being involved in it. Give me the energy of the FBI, the CIA, utilizing secret societies for whatever purpose, to start things, to finish things, to create issues, to create conflict, and then hide their involvement. Narcissists, limit, budget. Hide their involvement so that no one may know who did what. Left hand doesn't know what the right hand does. Denial, how was it? Plausible deniability. That's what I wanted to get. So this is an energy reading against Spirit of situations where things are done in secret, and it conceals those individuals in the background from being discovered, but they are actually the catalyst for things happening, thinking that they can remain anonymous after they start conflict and sit back and watch it unravel. Give me the energy of the FBI, the CIA, creating situations, then hiding in the background to conceal their involvement, utilizing secret societies who also throw rocks and hide their hands to conceal their involvement. Give me the energy of that, Spirit. Thank you in advance. I am vibrating at a high frequency of love, care, and concern. My chakras are open. I am heightening my intuitive abilities to interpret the energy on these cards. Words are energy when they are spoken or they are thought. Give me the energy. Secret societies, FBI, CIA, throwing rocks, hiding their hands, creating situations and conflict so that they may reap the rewards or lack thereof for whatever reason, starting a situation or conflict. Foundation for that: abandonment, withdrawal, moving on. This is the foundation for secret society, CIA, FBI getting involved in situations, and their reason for doing it is to abandon, withdraw, or move on. Either the organization do that, or whoever they are intending to direct this energy at. They want this person to abandon, to withdraw, or move on. I'm going to get through these and I'm going to come back and speak about them. The main energy is rest or meditate. Usually this is synonymous to bringing things to an end. The challenge, power, tools, and skills, magician, subconscious, Queen of Swords in reverse, the past, Queen of Cups, the future, Hermit energy, internal influence for them doing this, protection. This is the internal influence for why the FBI, the CIA, along with secret societies, throw rocks and hide their hands, create situations, create conflict, and sit back in the background like they don't know how it happened or who did what. The internal influence for them doing that is protection. I'm darn near going to say this is to protect their own ass and not the person they're directing it towards. External influence, strength, courage. Their hope and fear around this being discovered. For people to find out that it was racist, biased, or gender motivated. The reason for them to create conflict, throw rocks, hide their hands, sit back in the background because of racist, bias, or gender identity influences. I'll say this again, I'll say this loud and proud. If you have racist views, prejudiced views, biased views, or gender-related views of anyone about anything, do you know that you are wasting precious space in your brain by even thinking about this? A person that is racist or holds anything towards anyone, you have designated a part of your brain specifically for that reason. And for you doing that, you are limiting the processing power of your brain. This makes you dumb. Really it do. The outcome, I'm going to leave it face down. That's a surprise to me, as well as you guys out there. So again, this is the energy of secret societies, FBI, CIA, throwing rocks, creating situations, creating conflict, and then hiding in the shadows, hiding their hands. The foundation for this is abandonment, withdrawal, moving on. The person that they aim this at, this energy, who they project this at, is for them to move on or withdraw. You got societies of people going up against one, two, or a few to get them to move on, to abandon whatever it is that they so choose to continue to be attached to or engaged in. We're going to clarify this rest for the energy we speak, and that is empath. So immediately, foundation for this reading is abandonment, withdrawal, moving on. The foundation, they want the abandonment. They want the moving on, the withdrawal of an empath, so things can be put to rest. Or they may want this empath put to rest. I might have said empress for a reason. Let's do King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. 1, 2, 3. King of Wands, they are coming out today. And a Ten of Wands. What does that tell me? Okay, the main energy, again, is a Four of Swords, which is meditate or rest. Take a breather. Go in a coma, maybe. I don't know. This is clarified, as I started to say. This Four of Swords, this rest energy, is clarified by empath, a King of Pentacles, which also denotes security, secure in their life, their possessions, their worth, their value. King of Wands, a visionary, and a Ten of Wands, which is burdens. So what I get from this, the foundation again is abandon, withdrawal, moving on. The main energy is rest, clarify who do they want this to occur? Who do they want to abandon something? Who do they want to move on? Who do people want to see withdrawal so that things can be at rest, at ease? They want an empath who perhaps is this King of Pentacles, or this empath security as a visionary, a King of Wands energy, is causing burdens. This empath, King of Pentacles energy, this empath security as being a visionary is causing burdens. This is what clarifies rest. They want this empath to move on, to put things to rest, because this empath is causing burdens by being a visionary. That is the energy of secret societies, FBI, CIA, creating conflict and hiding in the shadows to see what happens and show people. All of this is being done because they want an empath to abandon or move on. But this empath has abilities. Dare I say, that's the reason why this empath has not moved on. Because things have to come in balance. An empath, dare I say, is someone who is emotionally balanced. King of Cups energy, basically. Emotionally balanced and mature. That would be the energy of an empath. And an empath is not going to move away from any situation unless they know that they can move away, and they came into a situation that was unbalanced emotionally, and they will only leave the situation when it is balanced emotionally. Doubly so if that empath happens to be a Libra who deals with the scale. So immediately we have the challenge for this empath being put to rest or silenced or moving on, and that is a magician energy using their power, tools, and skills. That is the challenge for this coming to rest, putting this empath to rest. So we'll clarify that. Magician energy. The challenge is magician energy using their power, tools, and skills, clarified by visionary. So I'm believing that's a magician using their power, tools, and skills on a visionary. Who's the visionary? The empath that they want to withdraw. They want to move on. They want this empath to move on. And it ain't happened. Subconscious. Queen of Swords in reverse. Now, an upright Queen of Swords is someone who's very sharp, articulate in a lot of the areas in their life, their relationship, um, their business savvy. Uh, they're just, they're all put together. Someone who's well spoken, could be as well traveled, educated in a sense to a degree that's cannot be denied. That there's definitely some education this man has, whether it's legitimate education or a knowing that cannot be refuted. So the subconscious is a Queen of Swords energy. We're going to see what that is. Queen of Swords in reverse energy is someone who's not well spoken, someone who's not articulate, someone who does not have everything in their life the way it should be and could be. Immediately, this Queen of Swords in reverse in the subconscious is clarified by secrets, mysteries, and illusions. With that being stated, I'm not going to go any further because this Queen of Swords in reverse, being on the subconscious of CIA, FBI, and secret societies, says that this is an individual. Perhaps this individual, since it's on their subconscious, would also be connected to something that's in their past, because we usually have humans have a tendency to continue to dwell on things that happen, and they have a mainstay in our subconscious, like it's there to remind us or remember something from our past. And this is a Queen of Cups. This is what the energy, secret society, FBI, CIA, throwing rocks, hiding hands. In the past, they were dealing with a Queen of Cups. So my guess is this subconscious of a Queen of Swords in reverse and this Queen of Cups, they were both in the past. Okay? So we did the Queen of Swords. We'll do this Queen of Cups in the past. CIA, FBI, secret societies dealing with a Queen of Cups in the past around a situation of throwing rocks and hiding their hands, creating conflicts and hiding in the shadows. They were dealing with the Queen of Cups in the past. Competition, victory, struggle, defeat. So in the past, dealing with this Queen of Cups, doing exactly that, creating conflict and hiding in the shadows, like a bear, right, I almost said it. Dealing with this Queen of Cups in their past, they faced defeat. Because anyone tells you, no building, no structure, no vessel, no body, no craft can survive unless it's built upon a sturdy foundation. If your foundation is not sturdy, it's coming down. If your foundation is built on thieves, lies, it's coming down. Those of you people out there that may or may not know this, it's the truth. Buildings standing today still, especially in California, where California has earthquakes, the foundation for that building has to be so sturdy. How then can you be in an environment such as California, just for an example, where you have building structures that are built, their foundations are so solid, and then you have organizations that's supposed to be built on a foundation just as solid? But it's been an illusion. It's been an illusion, truly, what the foundation was built off of. And the foundation which something is built off of is the same foundation that will bring it down. Those of you know what I'm talking about, you know it. Whatever you built your stability on is the same stability that will bring it down. If you got your stability fraudulently, fraudulent things will happen to bring that down. If you lied to get your stability, lies will bring it down. If you stole, I can keep going on and on. Future, Herman Energy. 34 minutes. I'm going to drop one card on each. I'm going to speed this up. You know, Lord forbid I sit back and want to listen or watch someone for an hour just talking. So I'm going to speed this up. Future, okay. Future, the Hermit energy clarified by Queen of Wands. This protection card, I might go into detail about that. A Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, protection. Strength, Seven of Wands. Hope of future, hope of future, hope of fear, excuse me. Eight of Wands, and the outcome, we're going to leave that like that is. Real quick, future position. Secret societies, FBI, CIA, throwing rocks, creating conflict, hiding their hands, hiding in the shadows. In the future, there's a Hermit energy that's soul searching in solitude, and that's clarified by a Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is something about someone with the bells and whistles, vibrancy, sexy, handsome, attractive, whatever. So this Queen of Wands in the future, dealing with this energy of conflict and hiding your hands, whatever, they're soul searching in solitude. Or this could be the energy that's creating this conflict having to go into Hermit energy and really think about this vibrancy, this bells and whistles, this looking on the outside as a certain thing, but on the inside you're not. This might be the energy of the FBI, CIA, secret societies. They need to go inside. What are we standing on? What is our foundation built on? I think that would be the energy of FBI, CIA, and secret societies in the future as things continue to unravel in the present. Okay, this one I do want to clarify. Internal influence is a protection. This is a card that I made similar to divine intervention or the creator having to get involved in a situation that was hopeless to be resolved by man's thinking. They say if man thinks himself into a problem, man cannot use that same tool they use to think themselves out, unlike what people believe. We think ourselves into a problem, we cannot think ourselves out because we do not think that far ahead because the variables that are forever changing. So this internal influence for CIA, FBI, secret society, throwing rocks, creating conflict, hiding in hand, hiding in the shadows, is protection. And that's clarified by air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I will say that I am a air sign. Follow that by earth sign. 6 cups. And finally. So what I get out of this, the internal influence, this particular situation, creating conflict, standing back in the shadows, hiding your hands. The influence for this is protection for an air sign, maybe even an earth sign, or we'll find out what's connected between them. There's a 6 of Cups energy and an empath. So I'll do this connection between the air and the earth. What's the connection between the air sign, earth sign, spirit? Wow, a masculine. I'm just gonna say that this is my father's card, Pa, but I'm gonna basically say that this is a masculine. So the connection between this Gemini and this Taurus, this air sign and this earth sign, the connection between these two signs is a masculine. I'm speaking funny. A masculine is in between this air and earth sign. There's protection for this air sign because of a masculine in between the, them and an earth sign who happens to be a Six of Cups energy and an empath. So protection for an air sign because of a masculine earth sign revisiting the past, a Six of Cups energy, someone they had dealings with who's an empath. That's very interesting. I had to clarify that. I'll leave that like that. And then we got the external. So this is the internal. This is the internal. This is the external. External is strength, power, strength, self-control, courage. Clarified by standing your ground. This is what you would do if you had the strength, courage, self-control, stand your ground. I don't need to explain that anymore. So that's the external influence, which basically says that the secret societies, the FBI, CIA, throwing rocks, creating conflict, hiding their hands, being in the shadows, is for strength, self-control, courage, and them standing their ground on whatever they decide they're going to stand their ground on. Which leads me to the next one. They're standing their grounds on racist, bias, and gender identities. That's their foundation. CIA, FBI, some secret societies, not all, their foundations are built off of racism, bias, and gender identities. And as I tell you, if this is your truth, then you are no shape, form, or fashion using the entire processing power in your brain, because a part of your brain is sectioned off just for this. You have a part of your brain just for hatred or dislike to someone else. You are the slave of someone. Did you hear that? You are the slave of someone if you are racist towards them, if you have bias towards them. Of gender, there could be something about you don't like women in a job or a man in a particular job. Anything that consumes a person holds space in their brain for that individual or society or organization or whatever. Whoever you have a disdain and profound hatred or dislike, they are your master. Eight of Wands, Travel of News. This is the hope and fear for the energy, FBI, CIA, secret society, throwing rocks, creating conflict, hiding their hands, being in the shadows. The hope and fear is racism, bias, and gender identity, social ills, as I call that card. There's a hope and a fear around that. It's clarified by Eight of Wands, Travel of News. I could go further than this, but this is dragging out, so I won't do that. What I will do is flip over the outcome of them doing this. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This could very well be the energy of the individual that is the catalyst in a particular situation, perhaps dealing with me personally. But I'm going to look deeper into this and just say what I think it is. FBI, CIA, secret societies, creating conflict, throwing rocks, hiding their hands, standing in the shadows to not be revealed. Do so. Water energy, emotions, because they're in their emotions. Their racist bias or gender social ills. They're in their emotions. Water symbolizes emotion. Cancer itself is a disorder. As you know, when you have an abundance of resources growing or stockpiling in a particular area. So the outcome of CIA, FBI, secret societies, throwing rocks, and all this spill, like I just said, is for them to stack abundance in one place. Cancer. Amass resources in one place. Pisces energy, fish. I'm looking at a fishing rod. They're trying to catch something. Stack resources to catch something. Scorpio deal with endings, contracts. Stack resources to fish for endings. Water energy, cause and emotion. The outcome of the FBI, CIA, secret societies, creating conflict, throwing rocks, hiding their hands, standing in the shadows to not be revealed, is so that they can amass resources by throwing a line out, putting a worm on a hook, so that they, Scorpio dealing with endings, can end someone or something, causing water sign emotion, provoke individuals into doing things that they would not normally do. This is of a matter that is known by psychology professionals. This is not something your run-of-the-mill, average educated individual would be able to do. This is professional, psychological, professional manipulation. That is what the CIA, the FBI, and some secret societies involve themselves in, simply so that they may amass resources. I gave you two situations that happened in my life. Then I gave you the energy reading behind that situation with the outcome. You be the judge.